NFL fans might just be the most relentless people on the planet. They don't just support their teams. They go to war for them, sorry. They'll argue, they'll debate, and yeah, sometimes they'll even throw hands. Let's be honest, the moment I said throw hands, most of you pictured an Eagles fan. But these days, most of the battles happen online. Thanks to the wonder of modern technology, any fan with a phone and an opinion can launch an all-out assault at the press of a button. Imagine going back in time and trying to explain what an iPhone is. You tell them it's a device that can access all the world's knowledge, communicate across the globe, and solve problems in seconds. And then with a straight face, you tell them that we mainly use it to remind Bears fans that they will never be able to develop a quarterback. They'd probably stare at you and ask, why do Bears have fans in the future? But I digress. Today we're diving into one of the most historic and heartbreak-filled divisions in the NFL. The NFC North. So buckle up, this one's gonna get messy. I started this series last year with the goal of exposing the most unbearable fan bases in the NFL, but I only made it through 2 divisions before life got in the way. But this year that changes. I promise to cover every division before the 2026 season kicks off. No excuses, no delays, every NFL fan base gets their turn under the microscope. You want your division to be next? Drop a comment below. And if you missed any of the previous episodes, I will link them at the end of this video. Now here's how this works. I break down all the teams in the division, eliminating them one by one until we land on the most annoying fan base of them all. I read thousands of comments on my videos every year, and let me tell you, there is always one fan base from each division that stands out as absolutely unbearable. When I say unbearable, I mean unbearable. Now, the first team I am scratching off this list is the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I predicted the Vikings would only win 5 games this season. Yeah, I actually did that. And when I released that video, I expected Vikings fans to come for my head. But they didn't. Because let's be real, even they didn't believe in Sam Darnold. I think Vikings fans were more shocked by his performance this season than the rest of the world was when Bill Belichick introduced his current girlfriend. Being caught 3/4 naked on a doorbell cam outside of her house isn't exactly an official announcement, but hey, you get the point. Can you imagine sipping your morning coffee and glancing out the window and seeing Bill Belichick standing on your neighbor's porch half naked? Talk about a once-in-a-lifetime gift. There was one Vikings fan who came at me aggressively for my prediction. But when I asked him what his record prediction was, he said at least 7 wins. It's just the same as saying, yeah, I also think we're going to suck, but just not as bad as you think we're going to suck. Not exactly a bold prediction. My experience with Vikings fans so far kind of reminds me of Dr. Surtain's relationship with Michael Myers in the 2018 Halloween remake. At first, he feels for Michael, wants to understand him, maybe even help him because of his complicated past. But eventually, it drives him insane, and Michael destroys him. And if this analogy holds up, I might be in serious trouble. Anyway, Vikings fans, congratulations. You are in the clear. For now. Next fan base I'm taking off the list are Detroit Lions fans. Now I could easily hate Lions fans. Not because they're the worst, but because I used to consider them my brothers and sisters in suffering. See, as a Jets fan, I know all too well what it's like to exist in a constant state of misery. For as long as I can remember, both of our franchises have been bathing together in the dark, murky waters of our own tears. But then you guys had a glow up. You got your act together, and you ran off and ditched us to go hang out with the cool kids, leaving Jets fans like myself sitting at the lonely lunch table in the cafeteria, staring awkwardly across at the Browns fans joining us. And speaking of Browns fans, they actually left our misery table for a while, back when Baker Mayfield was around. But eventually they came crawling back, dragging along a heavy backpack filled with despair and, unfortunately, lawsuits thanks to the man they dumped Baker for. I mean, the NFL is basically Grey's Anatomy. You got the drama, the heartbreak, the insane plot twist, it's all there. Now, if you watched the Lions-Commanders NFL divisional round game and saw the looks on Lions fans' faces as reality set in, you felt that pain. This was the year they were convinced they had a Super Bowl ticket in hand, led by a quarterback, by the way, who has never lost to Patrick Mahomes. And then, suddenly, a rookie came along and took him out. It's like watching a 6-year-old who's prone to nightmares as their parents tell them they're taking away their teddy bear in their nightlight because it's time to start acting like a man. It totally never happened to me, by the way. Anyway, Lions fans, you are in the clear. Now's where things get interesting. We're down to Green Bay Packers fans and Chicago Bears fans. And Bears fans, you might think you're safe. After all, like me, you've suffered. You've been through misery, heartbreak, and generational pain. But don't get too comfortable. Because as every politician will tell you, when they break their promises and sell out your vote for a big corporate payday, this isn't about you. This is about me. See, I've never seen the Jets win or even reach a Super Bowl. But the Bears, I've seen them in 2 Super Bowls. And I've seen them win 1. So while I sympathize with Lions fans and Vikings fans, Bears fans don't get to play the tragedy card with me. That card shouldn't even be in the deck. See, when I predicted that the Bears would have a 5-win season, citing their offensive line and coaching as the main culprits, you guys didn't just laugh at me. You were very mean. You acted like the kid who thought he was on the cusp of being cool. So naturally, he starts treating all the other non-cool kids like they're beneath him. But then the actual cool kids show up, and that's when it hits him. He's not one of them. He's not even close. And now he's just sitting there alone at his table in the school cafeteria looking stupid because he burned his only bridge to the table of losers that might have accepted him. And he realizes it's all because he was too much of an asshole for that to be a real possibility. And again, I'm not speaking from experience here. I don't see you sitting over there smirking, Green Bay fans. I haven't even begun to go in on you yet. See, last season, none of us had any idea what Jordan Love was going to be. I predicted you guys to win 5 games. And you came at me like a pack of fire ants swarming a barefoot hiker who stepped a little too close to their anthill. And then you beat the lowly Bears in week 1 of the 2023 season. And then proceeded to celebrate in the comment section of my videos like you just dropped 38 points on the 86 Bears. It was loud. And it was aggressive. There was laughter and finger pointing and chest thumping. A level of celebrating I haven't seen since Earth defeated the alien invaders in Independence Day. Then you lost 5 of your next 7 games. And suddenly, it got really quiet. But of course, you rebounded. You made a deep playoff run, and Jordan Love looked like he was the next Hall of Fame Packers quarterback. And honestly, I don't know what dark magic you unearthed long ago that keeps feeding you franchise quarterbacks, but know this, I will get to the bottom of it. And if you continue being cocky, I will stop it. Or at the very least, I'll hand Minnesota, Chicago, and Detroit the information they need to stop it themselves. Because honestly, I've got other curses to unravel, and they'd probably enjoy bringing out your demise more than I would. But I'd like to point out one thing. This video is not about last season. This video is about this past season. And this past season, you guys were cool. Probably because I picked the Packers to reach the Super Bowl. In a game where they would have suffered a humbling, soul-crushing loss to my beloved New York Jets. It was supposed to be my redemption arc. One shining moment to erase decades of suffering and mock a fan base that recently mocked me. But of course, the Jets took that away from me. Just like they've taken the joy out of being a football fan over and over again, sporadically throughout my life. Except for the few short years where they actually mattered. Still, I like to believe there's a timeline out there where the Jets are successful. Where every other fan base hates us and accuses the refs of being in our corner. Where Tyler Conklin is dating a famous pop star and the entire world outside of Jets fandom is absolutely furious about it. I'm evil and unbearable in that timeline. Maniacally so. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot you guys were here. Anyway, you can probably guess what my final verdict is here. And the reason is because Green Bay actually had a reason to be cocky. They know what real success looks like. They've experienced it several times. They know the blueprint. But Bears fans, you can't say the same. In short, you got ahead of yourselves. Actually, scratch that. You got way ahead of yourselves. And you came after the wrong guy. See, you're the kid that thought you had a glow up and then you started acting mean. But the glow up turned out to be nothing more than good bathroom lighting. So when you strolled out into the hallway with your nose up thinking you were better than everybody else, we all just kind of side-eyed you, wondering if you inhaled a little too much lacquer in woodshop. And here's a word of warning. I know you have Ben Johnson now, but that does not give you a free pass to repeat the same mistakes you made this year. Your offensive line is still just a sheet of drywall with no studs to hold it up. And there's a chance Caleb Williams might just be an average to bad quarterback who every once in a while makes a play so ridiculous it tricks you into believing the Messiah has finally arrived. I know Ben Johnson's creativity worked wonders in Detroit, but think about this. Him going from Detroit to Chicago, that could be like Batman going from fighting alongside the Justice League to fighting alongside the Doom Patrol. He can plan everything out perfectly. But if the right guys are not in place to execute, Darkseid only has to lift a finger, and suddenly you're back at that lonely cafeteria table, looking stupid, hoping that we'll feel bad enough to let you sit at the loser's table with us. The answer's no, by the way. Stay humble, and I'll see you in the next one. So how was that, Josh? You think that was good? Yeah, it was okay. It was okay? What does that mean? Just that it was supposed to be an NFC North video. And you talked about the Jets through like a quarter of it. Do me a favor and turn the camera off, Josh. I'm sorry, you want me to? I said turn the camera off, Josh!